This speaker has been recorded at an online meeting of Addictive Eaters Anonymous. You can email us at contact@aeainfo.org.
I'm Vanessa, I'm an addictive eater, and I'm grateful to be here to get to share my story with everyone, and grateful to be sober today. When I was preparing my dinner this evening, I was just thinking how different it is today with food on, for a normal working day. And I just remembered how, at lunchtime, my last job before I came to meetings, the office was above a supermarket, and every lunchtime I used to go to the supermarket and walk up and down the aisles and take food off the shelf and eat it while I was walking around, and then put the wrappers behind other things on the shelf, because I couldn't really afford I guess I like to kind of eat or steal all the expensive food, but didn't like to pay. I like to pay for the cheap stuff. So I just spend that for my lunchtime break, and then I'd be back at work after lunch, and I'd be, I would have vomited afterwards, so I would be a bit lightheaded, and I wouldn't be able to really focus on my work or meet my deadlines, and that would just make my anxiety worse. And then I probably would binge again in work, and then on the way home, I used to stop in shops as well, or a restaurant. There was a all-you-can-eat buffet on my way home, and so that was most days, most working days. And I had a housemaid, and I just used to tell her that I had a lot of overtime, and that's why I was really late coming back from work every evening. But I was actually just on my own, just eating after work. And it was a very miserable place and very, very lonely. And I spent a lot of time just on my own with food. And I think of it now, it's so much time wasted, really. But anyway, that's what I did. And I wanted to stop. I knew it was affecting my life and affecting my relationships, my friendships. I knew it was making my work more difficult, and I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. This was kind of in my late 20s now, and it started in my late teens. And I would try. I'd be like, okay, today is going to be different, right, Vanessa? Just stay away from this. Just eat this. Don't eat after this time, and all these. Try and come up with all these schemes not to binge and purge for the day, but I might get a day or two or not. But I remember I used to get this feeling that my skin was crawling, that I just had to eat, and nothing would come between me. Once I'd made that decision that I was going to eat and I had to eat, nothing would stop me. And I get that ease and comfort once I started eating. Like everything's okay now. But then afterwards, that terrible remorse and shame and guilt. I can't believe you did it again. You're such a pig. You're so fat. And so I remember a few times I would convince myself, oh, my throat's so sore from throwing up. I know what I need. I just need to go to the shop and get some yogurt. That will really help. But then they'll just set me off another binge. So just on this constant circle, really, cycle of it. Anyway, just grateful it got really painful and I didn't get that that, you know, comfort anymore from it. It was just pain. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't even get those days or a day or two anymore. It was just out of control, and I knew I needed help. So eventually I got into the rooms, AEA, and I had to admit that I had been beaten by food and that I wasn't a normal eater, and that I couldn't do it my way, that my ways of trying to cut out certain foods or whatever schemes I had, it just wasn't working. I remember there was a time I didn't even have any food in the house, like nothing, because if I had any food, I'd just binge on it. And I remember my brother coming over and going to my fridge, and there was just ketchup, mayonnaise, or mustard, or a couple of things. That's all I had. And yeah, I thought it was funny, but now I think back that, yeah, I couldn't have any food around. But now I have a full fridge, and yeah, it doesn't talk to me. I don't feel I have to eat it in one go. But yeah, that's from eventually surrendering and realizing, yeah, as I said, that I can't do this on my own. I needed help. And yeah, I got to came to meetings, and I just really remember hearing members sharing about how it was for them and that they weren't doing it anymore. And they just seemed to be free of the food and seemed to be living their life. I wasn't living my life. I was living to eat, really. And I just really wanted what they had, you know, and it just gave me a lot of hope. I felt really hopeless for a few years. So it's definitely what kept me coming back in those early days. And, you know, I was still eating, and but yeah, I kept coming back. Yeah, I got a sponsor and got on the program, and yeah, I did the 12 steps, and yeah, and just yeah, I got to fully admit to myself that I'm powerless over food, and I need a higher power that I on my own just doesn't work, and I need a power greater than myself. And I found that really hard to kind of grasp early on, but I think some more eating really helped me realize that I needed something outside of myself that will help me. And yeah, sponsor can't stop me. It has to be from a higher power. So yeah, eventually a tiny bit of willingness, and that kind of grew, I guess. Prayer meditation helps with that, and just trying to open my mind to it, I guess. And yeah, I guess just grows slowly. It grew slowly for me anyway. And yeah, and then I had experience with restricting food within my food plan, and so yeah, I had to realize that the food plan isn't everything. It's in that surrender. And I hadn't fully surrendered. So yeah, I had to really surrender my weight and just just get honest with what I was doing with my food plan. And yeah, so I'm sober today now, a few years, and yeah, it's just great, even, you know, as I shared, just the difference in my day. And I had a deadline today. I got to finish, got that done. And in the food, I just couldn't meet deadlines, and get to have my meals on time today, and nothing more, nothing less. And I don't think about food in between my meals. Before, it just was such a massive part of my life, and now I feel I have life in between my meals, and yeah, I've a really, really great life today, and just really grateful to the program and all the members. I can't do it without the members of this program, and so grateful to all their time and to sponsorship as well, and just getting to hear that their sponsors' experience and just the wisdom, and yeah, so yeah, it's a great life in AEA, and I'm just really grateful to be sober. So thanks.